And that is why I will be honored when I walk into that courtroom on October 2nd. But I will come back before you soon with a check for $250 million.
A few moments later.
A New York appeals court just tossed out his civil fraud penalty, ruling that the roughly $500 million fine is excessive and unconstitutional.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content every day. Now, y'all, by now you've probably heard that your girl, Letitia James, she had previously won a huge multi-$100 million award against Donald Trump for mortgage fraud. Okay, y'all see where this is going already, right? She had won a multi-$100 million mortgage fraud judgment against Donald Trump, and now an appeals court has vacated that multi-$100 million award, and no doubt Letitia James is feeling the sting of that verdict. But not only that, y'all, but Donald Trump has pulled the Uno reverse card on her. So depending on which thumbnail wins, y'all, I have a Uno reverse thumbnail that I did for this video. We'll see, because I like to test different thumbnails. So if you saw an Uno reverse thumbnail, you know where this is coming from. Donald Trump pulled the Uno reverse, and now his administration is going after her for mortgage fraud, y'all. You see how that works? See how things can get squirrely and weird sometimes? So in this video, y'all, we're going to take a look at exactly what happened. We're going to take a look at how the court was disgusted with Letitia James's penchant and just down in her, you know, in her nether deep down desire to go after Donald Trump before she even had any idea that he might have done something wrong. She had just decided she was going to go after him. And that is part of the reason why this whole thing blew up in her face. And of course, we're going to show you some proof that Letitia James was going after Trump based on a decision she had made previously. And so Donald Trump is pulling the Uno reverse card on Letitia James, and now she's on the hot seat, and now she's the one who's facing criminal charges for potential alleged mortgage fraud. Let's take a look. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
Major legal win for President Trump. A New York appeals court just tossed out his civil fraud penalty, ruling that the roughly $500 million fine is excessive and unconstitutional. They did not, though, throw out the entire case. Let's bring in Andy McCarthy, Fox News contributor and former assistant U.S. attorney. So here's what Judge David Friedman said in concurrence. He said, quote, "What emerges from this court's vacating the $500 million disgorgement award, with which I concur, is the frustration of what appears to have been the Attorney General's true aim in bringing this action. Plainly, her ultimate goal was not, quote, market hygiene, as posited by Justice Moulton, but political hygiene, ending with the derailment of President Trump's political career and the destruction of his real estate business."
Now, y'all, I'm going to say this, and I really mean this, y'all. We have created a situation in this country where there are two sides, and we're all Americans. We're all on the same team, but we've grouped up on at least two sides, and we're actually going after each other. And the problem is we're creating an incentive where people actually get lauded and cheered and held up high for going after the other side. And you're going to see that here with Letitia James. She takes a special kind of glee in going after Donald Trump and his administration. And y'all, frankly, it doesn't seem healthy to me.
And that is why I will be honored when I walk into that courtroom on October 2nd. Well, my role is civil. But I will come back before you soon with a check for $250 million. And to let you know that he is no longer allowed to do business in the state of New York. Yeah, we've got a special charge to show up and stand up for one another.
And in case that clip wasn't enough, take a look at this clip. You can see just the adulation that one side will give to their own people when they go after the other side. Again, I just don't know. Is this healthy? People, I think we need to find a solution for this. Look at how The View and The View's audience just heaps praise on Letitia James and are kind of fawning sycophants for her when they think that she's one of the people, or maybe even the best person, to go after Trump and to bring him down.
You also intend to prosecute him after he is out of office, correct?
Joy, again, our investigation currently is civil in nature. It is not criminal. In the event that we uncover any activity or conduct, in the event that we uncover any conduct. Oh, yes.
But will you go ahead with the civil suits?
Yes, our civil suit will continue, whether he's president or not. And so after January 20th at 12 o'clock, our investigation will continue, Joy.
There's no way a potential pardon for Trump or his three eldest kids would shield them from anything you're investigating. Am I right? That's what you just said, I believe.
Correct. He cannot pardon himself. What he could do is step down and allow the Vice President Pence, to pardon him. In all likelihood, I suspect that he will pardon his family members, his children, his son-in-law, and individuals in his administration, as well as some of his close associates. And then I suspect at some point in time, he will step down and allow the Vice President to pardon him. Now, it's important to understand he is pardoned from federal crimes, but he is not pardoned from state crimes. Last year, I introduced a bill in the state legislature which would close the pardon loophole so that individuals such as the President of the United States would not evade justice. It's important that we have this check on presidential powers. And in the legislature, the state legislature, I'm so happy they passed that bill, and it is now the law in the state of New York. President Trump cannot avoid justice in the great state of New York.
Now, thanks to Devilry Darkins over on X, he pulled out this clip from, I think this is MSNBC, where they're trying to mollify and ameliorate this decision and say, hey, but things are still really bad out there. Things are still bad. Let's take a look.
Eric Trump calling this a total victory, but is it?
No, it's anything but. And you can predict what the spin is going to be, you know, total exoneration, et cetera. I have had a chance to skim this opinion, certainly not read every word of the 300-page opinion. But what's really important is, even though the court found that the fine was excessive and has eliminated that under the Eighth Amendment, what it said, most importantly, is that there was fraud, that the verdict was absolutely sound, that the evidence showed that the Trump Organization engaged in massive fraud, and that is not going anywhere, that finding. In addition, the court is upholding all of the injunctive relief. That is requiring an independent monitor to make sure that this pattern of massive fraud stops, to protect the public, barring some of the Trump Organization officials from serving in corporate leadership roles. All of that stands. And so certainly it is a benefit to the Trump Organization not have to pay $500 million in a fine. What's important here is that the court upheld the finding that the Trump Organization engaged in massive fraud.
So y'all, you know, I just wanted to make this video to document this stunning reversal that happened to Letitia James. She launched this, I mean, I would call it a witch hunt. So she launched this case against Donald Trump, won this huge verdict. Then she caught a case herself for almost the exact same thing. And now her much lauded and much coveted verdict is vacated. That is the ultimate Uno reverse, and I just wanted to make a video documenting this. So y'all let me know down in the comments. Now that this verdict has been vacated, do you think Letitia James now might be on the hook for her own penalties for this similar thing that she's accused of? Mortgage fraud. Let me know, y'all, down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. For my people with the retirement, go to our link at Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Put in your information and download our report on how Gold can help protect your retirement from the upsies, downsies, the roundsies, and the roundsies. And speak to my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.
Andy, you thought this case was a stinker from the beginning. What do you think of the judge's decisions?
Well, I think they got it half right, John. Obviously, the penalty had to go. There's kind of two tracks, I think, to look at this. One is the penalty, and let's deal with that first, as that's what they got rid of. On an Eighth Amendment theory, that is the constitutional prohibition on cruel and unusual punishments, which applies to the states and which has been applied to gross mismatches between the punishment and the wrong that's proved. This clearly was way, way out of bounds from in terms of $500 billion or $1 million compared to anything that they proved in the case. So I think we've had signals for a long time that that was going to go, and it's appropriate that it did. As far as the merits of the case go, what James did here was, in a very unprecedented way, take a consumer protection statute that's supposed to apply in a situation where you have like a wrongdoing fraudster who defrauds a bunch of people, none of whom is hurt enough to bring a lawsuit. So that's the rationale for having the state come in and do it. This was a totally different situation. This was Trump, a sophisticated financial actor, with his counterparties who were financial institutions and insurance companies and other sophisticated financial actors who didn't need that kind of protection.
Yeah.
Andy, in the prevailing opinion, the judges wrote that the injunctive relief ordered by the court is well crafted to curb defendants' business culture. Is that a ding at the president?
Well, sure it is. What they're saying, I think, Jillian, is that the state did prove, I don't think they proved to the extent that James contended, but they did prove that there were instances where Trump had exaggerated or manipulated the value of his assets, depending on whether he was trying to get a loan or insurance coverage. But the important thing there is that even if you agree with the court that Trump did that intentionally, Trump's own assessments of his assets had an admonition in it encouraging his counterparties to do their own due diligence. And of course, they were in the business of assessing risk, so it's a very de minimis offense.
Yeah, don't forget, a piece of property or something else is worth what people are willing to pay for it. So if they think that it's worth something other than somebody says it is, it's up to them to do the due diligence. Well, Letitia James says she's going to appeal to the New York Court of Appeals, so we'll see where this goes from here. Meantime, Andy, thank you for joining us. Good to see you.